output to the government for implementation.
Okay. All right.
We also carry out capacity building in the area of science, technology, and innovation management for all various aspects of the government, for the public, and all other stakeholders.
All right. Thank you so much for that enlightenment. You will be having a workshop on science diplomacy this month.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about our listeners. What exactly science?
Using scientific and their technological knowledge to foster national development, international development, and sustainable development.
Okay. So, what benefits would participants have by registering for this workshop?
The participant has a lot to gain when they register for this national workshop. The first thing is the understanding the broad aspect of science diplomacy. That is what she has just defined now as fostering development through science, advocacy, and international partnership. So our participants will gain the broader view about technology management. Technology management, science diplomacy, and international relations. There are two aspects of science diplomacy. One is science for diplomacy, and the other one is diplomacy for science.
Okay.
Science for diplomacy is the area where we use scientific understanding, knowledge, cooperation to advance international relations. The other way around is the diplomacy for science, when countries cooperate to advance scientific understanding to actually achieve a common goal. This goal could be a global goal. For example, the Sustainable Development Goals that is currently on the table of United Nations. All the countries of the world are partnering to make it work. We want to stem the impact of climate change. So the whole world is using diplomacy to advance the cause of science, which has given us the understanding that the global warming is leading to a climate change, and the impact is felt across the world in terms of drought, flooding, glacier melting, and a lot of other disasters.
All right, thank you about that. And you've stated for the individuals. Now let's talk on the micro level, on the national level. What benefit does Nigeria stand, in engaging science diplomacy, as it were, Dr. Ilevere?
Okay, thank you. And I would like to start by stating that global challenges can be solved by coming up with global solutions. And global solutions requires collaborations between countries. When trying to solve international problems, there is no way national problems will not be resolved. Nigeria as a country stands to gain a lot by having scientific relationship with other countries of the world. Number one could be in terms of resources, expertise we get from collaborating with other developed countries and even some undeveloped countries in resolving a lot of problems. Examples of science diplomacy initiatives where so many countries have come together to resolve is the Paris Climate Agreement and such as the Iran nuclear deal. Nigeria can gain a lot looking at the present issue of COVID-19 that is presently ravaging the whole world. Countries are coming together to come up with vaccines, to come up with solutions in managing the COVID-19 crisis, and a lot of technological development that Nigeria can gain from partnering with other countries through science diplomacy.
All right, that's great, amazing. Let's go on a short break, and when we'll come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this workshop. Don't you go anywhere.
National Center for Technology Management, an agency of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, invites science enthusiasts, diplomats, and the general public to its national workshop on science diplomacy. Objectives of the workshop include raising awareness among scientists and diplomats about science policy and diplomacy, intimate participants about Nacetem's role in manpower development, science, technology, and innovation management, and science diplomacy, and also create a network of science diplomacy enthusiasts and promoters, among others. Date: Date: Tuesday 9th of March to Wednesday 10th of March, year 2021. Venue: Zoom. That means you can join the workshop from any part of the world. For inquiry, please call 0806 070 2979 or 0805 668 3255. Nacetem, managing technology for sustainable development.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Nacetem Alpha, and I've been speaking with the officials of National Center for Technology Management, Dr. Tosin Elevere and Dr. Maruf Orewale. Now, let's quickly talk about this workshop. How do participants register, Dr. Orewale?
Yes, we have prepared a registration point for all participants. We can log on to our website, www.nacetem.gov.ng, and science diplomacy. So there you can log in and actually enter your details. You'll be given the registration code where you have a participation code so that you can join the program tomorrow live.
All right. I heard that the program is online.
Yes, the program is virtual. So the world has gone online. We're also making use of the digital economy, digital technology that is available for us so that many people can join globally. Because this is a global event and we want participants across the world. And currently, we have gotten more than 230 participants across the continents that have actually registered. So we want many Nigerians to actually participate. This is a new concept. I've been to Italy attending similar program. In India. It was organized and people come from different parts of the world. And this is a Nigerian version. We need to show the world that we also can get there and we can partner and advance science and diplomacy in Nigeria. So Nigeria will be a better place for us. So we are expecting participants to join. Log on to our website, www.nacetem.gov.ng, to get to science diplomacy, log in, and you get the details of joining the Zoom meeting.
All right. Should I assume that this workshop is solely for diplomats, science researchers, and all that? Am I right?
And
Yes.
outside, as part of the participants, we have diplomats, we have everybody, all members of the public are also invited to join. People from the academics, people from the industry, from embassies, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and from all walks of life. We expect people from all walks of life to be part of the workshop.
All right, let's talk about the speakers. Who are we expecting to give keynote addresses, and lectures in this workshop?
Yes, we have so many speakers that have been invited. They are experts in the area of science and diplomacy. The keynote address will be given by the Honorable Minister of State for Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. We have the plenary sessions, one to be handled by Professor Ukeje of the Department of International Relations, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. We also have a feature presentation on science diplomacy for achieving sustainable development goals. This will be handled by the Director of Global Sustainable Development and Innovation Community from Belgium, GISTIC. That's the General Manager. Okay. So he's going to be participating live. And we have another presenter, Ambassador Professor Ogusanwo, who is a former ambassador to Botswana. So he's also a professor, a lecturer in the Leeds City University, Ibadan, here. And we also have another person, Ambassador Usman Sarki, retired. He will also be contributing. He is the former Deputy Permanent Representative of Nigeria to the United Nations. He's among those people who are going to be our guest speaker there. We also have Ambassador Bolaji Akiremi, in the Nigerian High Commissioner to Singapore. He's also part of the participants. We also have Dr. FM from Nigeria Institute of International Affairs, Lagos. So all these are part of our invited. Then we have erudite Professor Shinyabola Willie, the former DG, National Center for Technology Management, and he's also a professor at the Center of Energy Research and Development, as a prominent leader in issue of science, technology, and innovation in Nigeria. So he's well known. And finally, we also going to have Professor Terence McLaver. So he's the chairman of Academic for International Science and Research, ESA, in United Kingdom.
Okay.
So he will be talking on the roles of academic cooperation in science diplomacy. All these guests.
All right, it's really a full house. Can I ask what are the major talking points for this workshop?
Yeah. The theme of this workshop is Science Diplomacy for Sustainable Development, SD for SD. So sustainable development is key for global efforts now, because number one, there are a lot of things that are happening in the world, that there are a lot of challenges that the world need to address, and this has been actually combined in Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 16 of them, and we have agenda to achieve them. Part of it is to reduce poverty, to give access to health, to give access to education, and so many things like that. So all these top teams, this team will be addressed by subtopics, which is here with us. You can read some of them.
Okay, the first preliminary session will be talking about the past, the present, and the future of science diplomacy globally and in Nigeria, while the second presenter will be talking about science diplomacy for achieving the SDG. The third presenter will be talking about scientific cooperation as an instrument of foreign policy, the place of Nigeria, while the third presenter will be talking about the prospect of Nigerian science diplomacy initiative. On the second day of the workshop, we're going to have Ambassador Bolaji Akinremi talking about the science diplomacy and the COVID-19 pandemic. While on the afternoon of the second day, we'll be having Dr. Ubi talking about the gains and losses of Nigeria in international collaborations during the COVID-19 pandemic management. On the afternoon of the third day also, on the second day also, Professor Shiyambola will be talking about mainstreaming science, technology, and innovation with foreign policy for economic development.
All right, thank you about that. I think that should stimulate interested participants already. Okay, and I like the sound of that. SD for SD, Science Diplomacy for Sustainable Development. And you said to participate, one could log on to your website, www.nacetem.gov.ng. And it's free.
Yes.
The participant, the workshop ordinarily should cost a fortune. But now the government of Nigeria, because of its seriousness to actually advance science and technology, this program is being sponsored by the government and it's free for the citizens to participate, especially the stakeholders who have a role to play in advancing science diplomacy in Nigeria.
All right, that's great. Permit me to quickly ask you this quick question, because before we round off on science diplomacy and talk about the other workshop that you would have later in the month, I wanted to ask what are the challenges in implementing science diplomacy or in engaging science diplomacy in Nigeria?
Well, there are some challenges. One of it is actually the understanding of the concept of science diplomacy. So there should be a kind of commitment, understanding the role that science diplomacy will have to play in advancing Nigeria. The government should know, the technocrats should know, the diplomats should know, the academia should know, everybody should know. If they know, they will be able to play their role. And finally, we get there, because one nation cannot stand alone. So nations have to cooperate to achieve a common goal. And for Nigeria, we need some partners, technical partners, that will make us to advance our scientific endeavors, our scientific objectives. We want to be there. We also want to be among the advanced nations. So in order to do that, we need understanding. So if the understanding is not there, then that is a challenge we have to surmount. The second challenge is the issue of funding, research, and funding this type of cooperation. You see, for example, we have student exchange in our technical exchange in some countries, with some countries. Nigerians that have been traveling abroad, we have the issue of brain drain. Even there was an advice recently that even teachers are going, medical doctors are going,
sure.
All the practitioners are going to different countries because they are well numerated and they find a better place to practice. But we want to reverse that direction. We want to reverse that trend. So one thing we need to do is that let the foreign students be also coming to Nigeria to come and learn. When they come, the ideas they also bring, we tap from it. Then let's bring the experts. If an expert is coming to teach 50 people, it's going to be less expensive than sending 50 people to go and meet an expert today. So funding is a challenge, but I think the understanding, with the government and the other stakeholders, we get there.
All right, I need to go on a break now, and I'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere.
National Center for Technology Management, an agency of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, invites you to a national workshop on government, industry, and academia. Objectives of the workshop are first to bridge the wide gap among the main actors in national innovation system to promote synergy in science, technology, and innovation, and job creation for national development. National workshop on government, industry, and academia will hold on Wednesday, the 24th of March to Thursday, 25th of March 2021. Venue, Zoom. For inquiries, please call 0806 070 2979 or 0805 668 3255. Nacetem, managing technology for sustainable development.
All right, you're welcome back. It's the Nacetem Mafa, and I'll be speaking with Dr. Maruf Orowale and Dr. Tosin Levere. For our listeners to be clear, I need you to give the date for science diplomacy once again, and then we'll talk about the other workshop later in the month. Dr. Levere.
Okay, the Science Diplomacy for Sustainable Development workshop comes up tomorrow, March 9, 2021, and Wednesday, March 10, 2021.
All right, good. And then what about this other workshop that you have later in the month? What is it called?
Yes, we'll be having another workshop coming up later in the month of March, which is themed Government, Industry, and Academic Linkage.
Okay, also. Well, what is that about government, industry, academic linkage? I'm saying you're trying to create an nexus, I assume.
Yes, the workshop is going to be talking about the need to have a smooth interaction between the government, the industry, and the academic institutions in Nigeria to foster sustainable development. In developed countries, we have a situation where there is a close interaction, an effective interaction between these three systems of actors of innovation coming together, not working in isolation. This occurs when the academics work in collaboration with the industry to come up with a research outcome that can really solve practical problems and come up with up-to-date curriculum. The industry also can gain from the academia in having a collaborative research network. So these are the things we want to talk about in the coming workshop, which is going to be later in the month of March, 24th and 25th of March. The link to register is also available on our website, and we can do this later in the month.
All right. So, Dr. Maruf, I need you to also talk about this GIA. What would participants benefit from attending this workshop?
Yeah, we expect the participants to also understand the necessity of this relationship that she mentioned just now. When there is this interconnectivity, there is going to be more productivity. So, but if people work in silos, then we have the tendency to lose the focus and won't be able to achieve much. So the participants will understand these interactions and the roles of each of the stakeholders in this national innovation system. We call it national innovation system because this is what drives innovation in every country. So if Nigeria must also be there to bring new ideas into markets in form of products, new products, then these stakeholders need to interact. So we understand the role of government in this system, we understand the role of academia in this system, and the role of industry. So the participants will understand that. Then the participants will also understand the challenges that Nigeria has been facing in the past and how to address it in order to move forward. So these are the expectations.
All right, thank you so much. I need to ask that this workshop is also online. Is it online?
It's also virtual, yes. It's going to be free also.
All right, so all the participants need to do is to log onto your website, yes, www.nacetem.gov.ng, and then click on these links to register.
Yes.
And the registration is free.
It's free.
All right, thank you.
We need to commend the government for making this available. So this is part of the improvement we are having in actually getting this to the public.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Oliver, your parting shot on the show this morning.
Okay. We would like to enjoy all our listeners to please register and be part of the program. It promises to be educative and to be enlightening.
Dr. Rawale.
Well, my own parting word is that let us make the world a better place. And also, I want to use this opportunity to tell us that Nacetem also engages in training, manpower development in the area of postgraduate diploma, masters in technology management, We have short courses and other programs that the public will actually benefit from. So what they need to do is to contact us, and you find all our programs. They are very educative, and it's going to drive the nation forward.
All right. And all this information can be found on your website?
Yes, they are available.
And your social media handles?
Yes, and our social media handle, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the YouTube.
All right, thank you so much. I've been speaking with the Health, Technology Management, Education and Training, Dr. Maruf Orawale, and also Dr. Tosin Ilebare, who are officials of National Center for Technology Management. With them is the Public Relation Officer, Mr. Isaac Oluyi. Thanks for listening. My name is Daniel Odeyemi. Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9. Bye for now.
A soul and called it. It beats for you, so listen. 32 FM 94.9. Filling the world with laughter. Make me your radio and turn me up when you feel low. Get ready for radio like you never thought was possible on the Pioneer Joy Station, 32 FM, 94.9.
Wait till you they wait for. You no need to stress at all.